This is the oncoming storm, and I've come to let you know about the Lume clan. But let's take care of a little bit of business first. There is an opportunity coming for content creators to give away free stuff from the developers, codes for in-game things, but we have to have a certain number of subscribers, and I'm not there. Help me out, like and subscribe, join the channel, and let's get this moving forward. All right, bring your friends. Now, let's take a look at the Lume clan. Now, I always, as a matter of course, tend to say right up front which one I think is better. The Lume clan is not going to be any different. And in my personal opinion, it's the female. But the male's good too. This is an excellent clan. And each of these two champions offer a different way to help you overcome the female Daevala. I will be doing a video on that here in the next day or two. But for now, let's get on with this. So, since I believe the female Lume is the stronger one, and that's where I'm going to put the emphasis, let's deal with the male Lume first. The male Lume, his first ability, is called Cast a Chrono Circle, which dispels all teams' debuffs and recovers all teammates' health by 699% of the caster's strength. The heal, it's minor, but it can be nice. The more important piece going forward in a meta that may be shifting to debuffing the opponent's team to take down things, and I'll explain that later, is actually very good. It will help you keep your team in sync. It will dispel the debuffs. What debuffs are we talking about? Well, let's see. A stun is a debuff. A silence is a debuff. There are weakness debuffs. There's a number of debuffs. Fear is also a debuff. The real problem with this is, if he is debuffed and he's in a fear or something, he's not going to get this off on time. So, not a bad choice, may not be a solution for what's coming. What's his passive? Recovers all teammates' health by 45% of the caster's strength every 5 seconds. Alright, this means that if you are playing a male Lume, you should be getting brutal, aggressive, and probably athletic as well. Wait, I thought athletic was only good up until about level 300. The reason it's only good to that point is that you have a limitation on traits. How many traits can we put on these? How many traits is it going to matter? Okay, male Lume is not going to deal enough damage for it to be a worthwhile effort. In fact, male Lume doesn't deal damage. He is a support character, so we don't want fierce. But the more strength he has, the more healing he will do. So you build him with athletic, brutal, and aggressive. And this will help your male Lume be the best healer he can be. Now, if you don't have, for some reason, if you don't have a male ASIN in the group that you're running your male Lume in, you may want that clan trait. Anyway, that being said, male Lume's ultimate is about trying to catch somebody and revive them. He seems to be very good at holding his ultimate and using it on a unit that is about to die. However, it's not as reliable as one would hope. Healing is not exactly favored in this game. In a traditional RPG, you build a tank, you put him in front of your deep damage dealers, and then you put in a healer. The healer keeps the tank alive, while the tank keeps the rest of the DPS from taking damage. This is why I say repeatedly, the male Lionstone is the best tank in the game, because he's the closest thing to helping your whole team not take damage with his shield as we're going to get with any tank. Now, that being said, if the game takes a change and alters just a little bit to where there is any focus on holding back an enemy and helping the damage dealers actually dish out damage while they're being protected by a tank, or they put out a tank that actually holds back damage from the damage dealers, male Lume shifts up to God tier, period. There is simply no better healers. The Wide Eyes healer, she may give bigger heals, more exciting heals, but you cannot overcome ticking heals every 5 seconds. You just can't. He is the strongest healer the game has. Period. Alright, so we've discussed the male Lume. I've even shown you how to build him. The female Lume. The female Lume is about boosting damage. She is not a healer. And she gets a lot of guff from other content creators, other players. She gets a bad reputation because she does something that didn't fit the mage meta. Didn't fit what people said they wanted. Or thought they wanted. The meta was Mage Burst. The best way to take advantage of a Mage Burst meta was for everyone to have their ultimates synchronized. Lume is about asynchronicity. She unbalances the timing on a team. Now, female Lume as a mythic was actually one of the first mythic champions that I got in this game that I didn't breed through the companion system. And I have loved her. She has helped me do things and accomplish things that I could not have done without her on the team. I feel like female Lume is extraordinarily strong. And I always thought that people were missing out by looking away from her. Now, that being said, I told you about asynchronicity. Her ultimate, what it does, it's called Linked Fates. It links to the teammate with the highest strength, channels energy to them, replenishing their energy to max. That means, before I move forward with reading this, that means that they are going to be able to ultimate immediately. The more energy they replenish, the more of the caster's energy will be consumed. Once it's activated, at least 300 energy will be channeled. Additionally, the teammate's strength will be increased by a percentage. you know what? Why does everybody love female Lionstone? Because she increases players' strength by a percentage. Female Lume does the same thing. Why they didn't like her is because she broke the Mage Burst system and made it fall out of timing. Without a female Lume on the team, the ultimates for your team tend to occur all at once, all at once, all at once. Both the first one, the second one, the third one, they all come close enough that every time your team ultimates, the female Lionstone's buffs on them. Where people thought the female Lume was wrong was in the fact that she broke that timing. She broke the delicate timing of making sure everybody's ultimate goes in line with this. However, female Lume made it possible to turn some champions into machine guns, hitting ultimate after ultimate after ultimate, one after another, because she doesn't even use up her entire ultimate bar if she doesn't have to bring the highest strength champion back up. So, here's what happened with female Daevala, who is not unbeatable. Female Daevala came in and preyed upon the Mage Burst meta. How? Because she hid from their ultimates. If the female Daevala could survive without using her Undying trait to her ultimate, when she came out of her ultimate, she would be at full health, where most of the rest of the team is likely dead. She's right back to reset if she did damage. Female Lume, because I ran a female Lume on my team, it took me longer to realize that female Daevala might be trouble. I saw her on other players' teams, and I saw her die fairly regularly. Why? Because she was not escaping the ults of my strongest units, my strongest damage units, by being out of sync with the ultimate timing. And that was entirely because of female Lume. Because she turned around, gave back the ultimate to the max DPS, and it ultimated again on the female Daevala when she stood up. Do you catch that? The other reason that I was having less difficulty with female Daevala for a while was because of female Lume's first ability. Plants a chronobomb on the target which detonates after 3 seconds. The explosion deals damage equal to a percentage of the caster's strength to nearby enemies and inflicts stun for 1 second. Remember I told you we needed female Daevala to use her Undying before she ultimated? That's what my female Lume was doing for me. She stunned the Daevala. That stun is an AoE stun. And yeah, the damage is not good. Just like the male Lume, if you're left with the female Lume or the male Lume on your team as the last man standing, you lose. They are not going to finish anything off. And although I know some people would argue that times telling is not working properly, for each debuff on a teammate, damage taken is reduced by a percentage. For each buff on a teammate, damage dealt is increased by a percentage. Now, that being said, it may not be the percentage that's written on the tooltip. I don't know how it's calculated. And I've seen that with a few things. I know the developers are working on fixing problems like this. So people look at the female Lume and go, okay, she didn't fit the mage meta the way that it was being pushed. But do you know what she did do? If you got her timed right, you could have her ultimate giving a percentile, a large increase percentile, like 200 to 300%, stacked along with the female Lionstone one, and end up with almost unbeatable champions. My opinion, female Lume is A tier. Now, why is she A tier? She's an A tier hero and not S tier for a similar reason that she has some situations where she can be busted. She can be broken. She can mess things up. But I'm very tempted to make her S tier. But she can't finish anything. Female Lionstone is the same way. She can't finish anything. If she's your last unit standing, you're dead. You've lost. If female Lume is your last unit standing, you've lost. If male White Eyes is your last unit standing, you've lost. Support characters in this game don't deal enough damage to finish even a low health champion from your opponent. So, do I think that female Lume is worth playing? Absolutely. And I believe that she's very excellent for your team. But she's also an event champion, which means you may only have a couple chances at her. It may be a long time before you're able to finish her off. So, the event champions: Lume, Strixhaven, Nas, Daevala, White Eyes. I've missed one. Scorching Fire. The one thing that I will tell everybody is only summon during summoning events. Only summon during summoning events. And the reason I do that is because during those summoning events, you can get the fodder you need for all of those champions. Which means, which you cannot get from the standard summoning statue. It only gives you the original champions, the ones that you can get without an event. So, hold your summoning stones, use them exclusively during summoning events. The ones that you want, you can pass on them if you want to, but I would never use a summoning stone outside of those events because it doesn't give me any fodder that are actually the units that I need to push forward. The game does make room for a free-to-play player to do well. I think the developers have done a pretty good job of that. And they are aware that people are a little unhappy with the machine gun rapidity of new clans being introduced. But I don't think it's time to break the game for it. Female Lume, my opinion, she's top tier. She's almost a must-have. She is definitely a must-have on your boss team. You should be using her during your boss attacks. Now that being said, she's just like male White Eyes and female Lionstone in that other than this massive boost, they give very little. Although, the female Lume offers more than the other two. Because, well, male White Eyes also gives a stun with his totem. So, male White Eyes and female Lume both give stuns. She gives a minor buff, but it all comes down to the ultimates. Because in the end, it's ultimates that kill champions in this game. So where do I tell you to go? Go female. If you have to choose one or the other to build the female. But the male is good for debuffing or taking away debuffs, such as silence and stun, and healing your team. They're both good, according to what you're trying to build. But your damage team is not going to be sad to add a female Lume to it. This has been the Oncoming Storm. Like and subscribe, especially if you want some free stuff. Join me and let's get that going. Let's take advantage of the opportunity to get some free codes from the developers. Bring your friends and let's do this. Thank you. Have a good night.